Hello and welcome back to the Nash Metal Productions here on YouTube, and welcome back to, of course, a month hiatus. And as you can see by the title, is the reason why. Because I left on the March 31st, which was a Saturday. Of course, they're being picked up by both my brother and my grandmother, because to at least make it down to Fresno. And of course, after the concert, I stayed there for another 2 weeks or so. So I was down there for about 3 weeks. So it's the reason why there wasn't wasn't any content anyways. But this video isn't about that. This is, of course, about my, this is pretty much a concert review of Anvil. So, of course, Anvil were playing at the Fulton 55, which was located in downtown Fresno, California, for those... if anyone who's that dumb. Well, so, again, wanted to see Anvil. Was the only time I really could see Anvil because they don't really make it up here to Reno or so I had to make way to see them. So, I was so glad that I did. And so, with that, I guess to kind of go into a little bit of the concert venue. The Fulton 55, if anyone has never been there, it's kind of it almost has a very sort of nightclubish feel to it, bar kind of thing. It kind of reminds me a slightly bit of the Knitting Factory up in Reno, which of course is sadly no longer open. That's the place. The Knitting Factory is where I saw Saxon back in 2015, just a month before, or 2 months before they released Battering Ram, which that was a great concert, but. So, that's what the Knitting Factory, the Fulton 55 kind of has a bit, of course, but it's a little bit more different, because usually when I was at the bars, you're kind of really next to it. It's kind of right there, somewhere right here, somewhere right there, and there's at least a bit of a place for stage sitting, where most of it in the around is where you can stand up and be next to the stage or so, even though you still had a very close, just a much more better view. Here at the Fulton 55, the bar's back there, and stage is right in front of you, and you got a whole bunch of bar tables around, so it was very easy to at least find a place to sit. And right on here, you've got pretty much the, let's say the merch tables for all the bands. For all 3 bands, because Anvil wasn't the only band playing there. You had 2 other bands. One being local, named Hellsick, who of course had a demo out at the time. I didn't pick up the Hellsick demo, nor did I pick up the t-shirt. My brother did, or at least the CD, not a t-shirt. But, and of course the second band was of course Archer Nation, which I'll get to showing the 2 that I picked up from that merch table. And, of course, Anvil, which, of course, they were touring for this album, which, of course, came out last year, which I did review from my channel, which I'll probably link you right here to this said review. So, with that, one of the first things I went there, since I already had a copy of Pavement, though the copies they were selling were the signed copies, of course, with the extra tracks Spark It Up, which, of course, the signed copies were all $10. So my brother actually got a real deal on the signed copies. So that's crazy how cheap the signed copies were at the show. So it was real crazy for it. Which of course now, after that show, those signed copies are going to be not $10. They're going to be $100 maybe now. So for those, and there was 3 copies there. But I already had a copy of Pounding the Pavement, so I didn't feel like getting a copy. But my brother has one, so whenever I see him, I can always look at that copy just to see the signed stuff from Lips, Chris, and Rob. So, of course, getting into there, and of course, Anvil being the other, of course, the main band. So let's kind of kick it off with the very first band, Hellsick, which, of course, like I said, are a local band of Fresno. Let's definitely be real honest. Fresno I think, has much more of a scene Then probably back in the 1970s to 1980s or 1990s, I think it's really boomed. Of course, you got Haunt being the big one out of there, but Hellsick were the band that played, and pretty cool band. Everyone usually dressed normal, whereas the bass player wore like a Motorhead shirt and stuff. Whereas the singer, if you're familiar with the TV show The Vikings, he literally looked like Ragnar Lothbrok. He's got the whole Viking thing going on with the little paint or so, the hair, the whole armor and stuff, and his mic stand was pretty much a sword, though with the holster and a little mic hold up to the sword. But of course, during one of the songs, he pulled out the sword out and started waving it around. Also came out singing it right in pretty much everyone, because he's got one of those wireless microphones. So he pretty much, during one of the, was it the second song or third song? Basically, he went into this little story how this song used to be sung in the trenches of World War I, then became a kind of an anthem for school kids to sing, I think like 1930s or 1940 or so. Pretty cool. Of course, he sang the whole thing pretty much around everyone, so it was pretty cool. And of course, later on, he brings out this horn, pretty much like a Viking horn or so, and pretty much said that for those, when I blow on this horn, I want everyone to pretty much, well, chant, sing, whatever. So it was, kind of like a battle cry kind of thing. So it was pretty cool. So, and of course, they were great. Definitely a great band. I don't know. I think they have a Bandcamp page. If I can find their Bandcamp page, I'll throw in their a link to their page in the link or the subscription box for those who want to check out. So that was Hellsick. Second band, of course, being Archer Nation, and that was the band that Anvil were touring with along with Don Jamieson, though Don Jamieson wasn't even there. So I don't know what happened, though I can care less, because of I'm not a big fan of anyone that was on that metal show that was on the now defunct VH1 Classics. In which I've said my stances on that before, years back. I may even link you to that. So there, go check it out. So Archer Nation on David Ellison's label EMP. That band, Archer Nation, were pretty great. They definitely won me over to where I ended up picking up pretty much their album here, which was just released around February this year. It's titled Beneath the Dream. Pretty good album. Very good album. I'll have to definitely review it for sure. Definitely. And of course, picking up the t-shirt. So which is right here. Real cool. Nothing on the back though, just blank. But they were definitely great. They of course and when they first came on stage, I swore I was looking at Megadeth Reincarnated, especially during the Rest in Peace era, because it has the like the guy I think it's David Rose. Dylan Rose, excuse me, Dylan Rose. He's got a pretty good stage presence. The guy, of course, being the guitar player and singer, and the guy who pretty much formed the band. Very good stage presence, great guitar player. Of course, to make those Megadeth comparisons later on during the show, before they ended their set, they pulled out a cover of Tornado of Souls off of Rest in Peace. So, and of course, I did take footage of that. I didn't take much footage of Hellsick, and I didn't take very much footage of Archer Nation. I did take a whole lot of photos, but I didn't take very much footage of Archer Nation. But I did film them covering Tornado of Souls from Megadeth, which I'll probably definitely tack in at the end of the video. So that was pretty a great cover. And if anything, to me, Archer Nation does have that Megadeth sound. More so Rest in Peace up to about Euthanasia. So it's that sort of mid 90s period kind of Megadeth. Though not close to anything like Cryptic Writings or Risk or those. Maybe throw in some stuff maybe off of like The World Needs a Hero, or even United Abominations, or even maybe Endgame to some extent. But they definitely got that sort of sound, and maybe it's a little bit similar to maybe Metal Church, more so maybe the Mike Howe and Ronnie Monroe era. So it just has that kind of real classic metal sound to them. So great band. Of course, I purchased both the CD and the T-shirt from the main guy himself, Dylan Rose, and he was a pretty cool guy to talk to. Definitely, we chatted for a bit, and I was happy that I paid him. And of course, if you can see, I wore this to there, which is my new battle vest, which I probably should be wearing right now. But when I wore this vest, which of course, taken from the T-shirt, tour shirt for that. But when I was wearing this, he pointed out on the Queensryche patch right there that he had played with them in Europe. I mean, Archer Nation had toured with Queensryche over in Europe, so that was pretty cool to hear. So yeah, Archer Nation, they were very great that night. They definitely won me over. I never heard them before, but man, after that, I pretty much left a fan. So great band for sure. And of course, I ended up getting one of their albums, their earliest one, which I'll definitely show in another video, because I got about 2 collection videos I gotta do. So you're gonna see a whole lot of content from me this month, which is a good thing. So with that, Archer Nation were the second band. Of course, now come to the main course, Anvil, which of course at the beginning you definitely got a bit of a taste at least of Anvil, which I'll throw in some more footage of Anvil out there, because I filmed a lot of footage of Anvil. There's a whole lot of footage of Anvil, and there's a lot of photos of Anvil as well. So that was all great. And of course, Anvil, they were fucking great. I'm so glad I actually got to see them. They were for the age that Lips and Rob are in, they still can kick ass. And this is someone who's seeing them for the first time, and they still have quite a bit of energy in them. Of course, they're doing all sorts of stuff, running around. Of course, I think probably this is due to Chris Robertson, who not the most cutest guy in the band. He's not, but man, the guy can move around. Sure, it may be awkward, but I think with his sort of sort of movement, his style and stuff, I think he kind of pushes Lips a bit to kind of do some more stuff on stage than just stand around or do a run around or you know, the dildo and the vibrator, which of course I didn't take footage of him doing that the sort of effects that he uses when he uses that vibrator on the guitar. I didn't film much of that stuff, which happened during I think it was during Mothra. He was doing that, I think, during the song Mothra, because it went into this sort of real sort of guitar solo and just all sorts of stuff, and it was all great. Definitely one of the best concerts I've been to in a few years. Probably my favorite one since Saxon for me. It's like, even though I loved when I saw Judas Priest, but there's just something about both Anvil and Saxon me that they just seem to pull out what some other big stadium bands that just can't seem to pull off as much, especially when it comes to that. As much as I love Judas Priest, there's something about the energy that Saxon and Anvil bring to a more smaller stage than what a band probably does these days to a much more bigger stage. So let that bit be a little something. Just let that soak in for a bit. And of course, I may not be the only one to probably say those things. Still, all great stuff. They played some great songs. Of course, when they opened up, Lips pretty much goes to in front of the people and actually starts playing March of the Crabs, and everyone starts huddling over him. And it was just very cool and stuff. And then when he comes on, doing 666 and going to probably the only song off our Hard and Heavy, and that's Ooh Baby, which is kind of an obscure one to play, but it was great that they played that one. It was pretty cool. Sure, I probably would have loved either At the Apartment or Bedroom Game or even Bondage or those songs, but still, Ooh Baby was a pretty cool one. It sounded great. It definitely it really fit in with the whole set list. This was a real classic set list with some songs from the first 3, with of course with songs from This Is 13, Juggernaut Justice, Anvil's Anvil, and the new one, Pounding the Pavement. So they played a lot more of those songs. So everything all fit together. So with that, Anvil were just great. And of course, and Lips is bantering. He still has pretty fucking great charisma. To me, he kind of reminds me of at least when Nugent wasn't completely, I guess you could say, completely political. He kind of reminded me of sort of like Nugent during the old classic days, or like Double Life Gonzo and that. And of course, before playing Free as the Wind, Lips went into the story how he pretty much got hammered at... or was it abbreviated or something in Lemmy's hotel room, and how he also pretty much did, was it cocaine for the first time, and how he just talked for about 24 hours. So it was pretty funny. So not a bad story with any of that. It was just entertaining as hell, very entertaining. So. It was just a great concert, really. I don't know how much I could tell, because I don't want to completely reveal too much. I know that pretty much the whole tour is ending, because this was the Pavement Pavement USA 2019 tour, and I'm so glad I caught this tour. So with that, all bands were great. It was a entertaining show. It was a great experience. Ended up talking to to the main guy of Archer Nation, though I didn't stick around to probably meet with any of the band members of Anvil. Though the only one that was out roaming around was Chris Robertson, the bass player. He was the only one that was really out and about, walking around either on the stage or by the bar, walking around, even passed by me. So he was like the only one. Rob only stayed in the bunk area, the balcony area, like the overhead area where the concert, like here's the stage, and there's like a little area for that, because it's like here, then somewhere there's like a stairs that goes up there for the members to go to their room, their dorms and stuff, and right there within the middle area there's like kind of a way where you can kind of get an overhead experience of the band, for at least the band members, and both Rob and Chris were up there watching the two bands play. Though Lips didn't do any of that. I didn't see him at all up on the balcony, so I have no what to do with that. Though if you've ever seen the story of Anvil, you may get kind of a bit of a idea of Lips' personality, but I don't want to knock the guy down. When he gets on that stage, it's there's a whole nother person. He's pretty much just all energetic, all entertainment, all fun, all great. So there's that. So Anvil, the Pound of Pavement, USA Tour 2019. Just a great experience. So here I'll probably end off with some more footage of Anvil, and also here before that I'll also tack in Archer Nation covering Tornado Souls from Megadeth. So with that, hope you definitely liked me talking about this fucking concert, even though I don't show very much, other than you'll probably just stick for until you see more concert footage. So until then, this is Heavy Threats to say I'm out, and I'll see you all again maybe within 2 weeks or so to do some collection updates. So until then, I'll see you all later. Take care, everyone.